Welcome to the Chicagoland Guide, and I'm your host, Aaron Masliansky. Today, we are here with Diana Gran. She is the director of the Dia de los Muertos Week in Highland Park, and she is the founder and portrait artist of Diana Gran Portraits in Highland Park. And it's a really great event that's going on, and we're going to talk all about it, and it's actually happening right now, so this is very, very timely. But Diana, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. So this is, I think this is my second interview in a row for something in Highland Park. There's so many great things that happen there. I just had the director of Ravinia on. So now, there's just, you can go anywhere in the North Shore and you can find all these different types of things, but and that's why it's so special to be someone who lives here. But tell us a little bit about, what got you into creating this event and your background in being an artist photographer?
Thank you. Well, the reason why I really wanted to bring this beautiful tradition to life, it is to really honor the people that are not longer here, because that's the basis of the celebration. And I thought about it because we have a very diverse community, and this tradition is not about religion. It's not about a culture, because honoring our ancestors is it just creates unity. And that message, especially in today's times, it just brings us hope. And that really is my inspiration. I am an immigrant myself. I was born and raised in Mexico. I have kids here in Highland Park. We have one of the oldest dual language programs in the state. And our community is diverse, and we have Highwood next to us. So I think what a better place to have this welcoming community and to bring this beautiful and vibrant tradition to our town.
And so you're from Mexico, and this tradition, what was it like growing up and celebrating?
At home, I'm from Acapulco, which is a city. You're probably familiar with it. It's a very coastal town. So I just grew up with a small ofrenda, which is an altar, which is, I grew up just basically thinking about our ancestors and, my abuelos, and just having families get together and share stories. But it really isn't until I was here that I was able to, when I came here when I was 18, that I was able to go back to my roots. I remember that I felt lost. I was thinking, well, I'm not from here. I'm not longer Mexican. So for a period of my life, I didn't know who I was. And it wasn't until I went to the Mexican Fine Art Museum that I worked through an exhibit called Mexicanidad, which means Mexicanity, that I really felt called to claim my roots, to go back to our ancestors. And over the last few years, I've been spending the summers with my family in Oaxaca, which is a different town from where I grew up. And I realized that the culture in certain states is pretty much alive. And everywhere you go, there is color, there is music, there is food. So just to have a little piece of that during a week in Highland Park, that's really something that inspires me to, again, create. I was not always an artist. I was actually an accountant. And then I discovered photography. And again, the same way I reclaim my roots, I reclaim my ability to create, to connect to the arts and the authenticity, because I had to become authentic to be able to bring such an authentic tradition.
Absolutely. I mean, it must have been tough to come here as an 18-year-old to a completely different. I mean, did you come to Chicago at first?
Yes, I did. I literally came with a backpack and I said, I am just going to live here. And then, I put myself through college. I got a job. I was doing all these things while at the same time trying to figure out who I was. So it was every immigrant that you talk to has a similar story. Again, I was privileged to come, with a visa and be able to work my way through it. But I know that it is very important for our community to get our roots together to be able to keep going. So I think that's part of the inspiration of also creating this holiday. Bringing this tradition to Highland Park.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the beauty of having people from all over the world living together, and you get to learn about each other's cultures and holidays and to be able to celebrate it. And one of the things, if you're watching this right now, if you're listening, maybe go on YouTube and you'll see, but you are wearing this beautiful crown on your head. Tell us a little bit about that. What does that represent?
Well, this particular holiday is vibrant. We don't talk about our loved ones that have passed. This is not a sad holiday. Actually, tradition. When you walk to an ofrenda, which it is installed down at the Memorial Park in Highland Park, you walk into this space that is colorful and beautiful, and that is an invitation to say this is a celebration because we are going to celebrate the stories and the memories of the people that we love. Yes, they have passed, but we bring them back during this time by sharing their memories and by uniting and hearing stories from other community members. Creating that space of reflection at the gazebo has been very meaningful. I live actually a few blocks away from there, and every day I pass by and I see people gathering at the space. So again, this colorful diadema that we call is just that. It's just a celebration. It's a vibrant. It's a moment of happiness right now, even though we're talking about death, which is this tradition dates back to pre-Hispanic times, right? Way before the Spanish conquered Mexico. So back in the day, if you can imagine, our indigenous cultures like the Aztecs and the Mayan, they celebrated death. And can you imagine living in a world that we're actually celebrating death? So again, we're celebrating in a way that we are honoring the people that we have lost. So that's how we're celebrating them.
I never had heard about the holiday. I grew up in the area, but I never knew about it. And I saw the movie Coco.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first introduction to Dia de los Muertos. Sorry, I can't speak. And and it was so amazing. And then I went to Mexico not long after seeing the movie, and I see everything out there, and it's like I feel so ignorant that I didn't know about it, and it's so culturally relevant in Mexico. And I think that it's great that there's a festival here where you can go and walk through and learn about this great holiday. And I do think that there's a beauty to being able to celebrate the dead, to be back with your loved ones who aren't there anymore, and to remember them in such a positive manner. And there's singing and dancing. I mean, what are some of the things that happen at the festival here in Highland Park?
Well, again, the heart of this celebration is the ofrenda. It is an installation that has a meaning. If you walk through the gazebo, you will see a display, kind of like you're walking at the Mexican Art Museum. You will be able to read what it's all about. And the cool thing about this specific ofrenda is that we are tying it back to our local businesses. I curated as over 20 businesses that are participating. So you learn about the elements of the ofrenda, but then you get to interact with them at our local business. Today, for example, Mil Colibris in Ravinia has a workshop where she will be teaching us how to make Day of the Dead bread. We're going to be able to learn about the tradition. We're going to be able to taste it. We're going to be able to see it. So again, that bread is a key component of the ofrenda that you get to see at the gazebo. But then again, you get to experience it, and then you get to taste it at one of our local businesses. So again, we curated a series of events for an entire week. That's why we call it DVM Week, because as you know, cocoa has been everywhere and this tradition is growing. So next weekend, you are going to be pulling so many different directions. Do you go here? Do you go there? Because there will be many celebrations. And that's why it was important to me to create a whole week of activities for kids, for adults, so we didn't have to divide up our attention. We have a full calendar of events, again, with these curated experiences that, one, are meant to teach you about the tradition, and two, are meant to support our local businesses that in return are supporting our project. And the way that we're doing this, just so you know, it is a very interactive way. You purchase a pass to support the project, and then you go around these businesses collecting stamps. Every stamp is it's an element of the ofrenda. So you get to learn again about the bread, about the pictures, about the water, about all these different elements that create an ofrenda.
And what is special about the bread for this?
So the bread symbolizes the body. So it's actually, you can see a little dot on the top. That is the head of the skeleton, and then the little bones. So it really symbolizes we are here. So, for example, the papel picado, do you know that beautiful paper that is, colorful? I'm sure you've seen it. So that is right above the ofrenda. And the minute that you work through into that arch of marigolds, you see this beautiful papel picado that is full of colors. That is telling you we're inviting you into this party, but also it is a reminder. The paper is a reminder of it's vibrant, but it's also fragile, meaning that's life. At any point, it can break. So again, every element has a symbolism, and then you will get to learn about all the details about what it is if you experience the ofrenda.
And is it like every day? And what times is the event going on?
So tonight is at 7 p.m. at Mil Colibris, but it is a full calendar of events. Basically, every single day we have an activation. Tomorrow night at Soul Shine Boutique, the owner will be leading a drumming session to connect you with your ancestors. She will be teaching you live right there how to build your own ofrenda at home. The following day, we have another activation at Secret Word Books where she will be teaching us. She will be leading a writing workshop where you can write letters to your ancestors. Again, these experiences have been curated so that you can experience on Friday. You're welcome to my studio. As I said, I'm a photographer, so one of the key elements of the ofrenda are photos. So obviously, I will get the photo stamp, so you get to come in and take an authentic portrait. Because again, going back to what made me a photography is becoming authentic to myself, to my roots, because for a while I thought I had to diminish my colors. I had to diminish who I was to be able to fit in. But I have been learning that the more attached I am to my roots, the more authentic I am for myself and for my clients. So I will be inviting you to come in and let's create an authentic portrait for you. So
I think that's really an important point, that so many people think that they have to change in order to be able to be successful. But if you're your authentic self, that's what people appreciate.
yeah.
And especially in an age where so many things are AI, or people put on a different type of face for Instagram or TikTok or whatever it may be, people appreciate the real.
Yes.
And I mean, how, so you were in accounting, you said at first when you first started working, and talking about getting real, going and becoming a photographer is a big jump. How did you get into that? Like what's your backstory?
Oh, wow. I'm a creature of service. I have always been supporting local organizations. I serve in multiple boards, and one of them was my kids' preschool. They needed a fundraiser. They needed to build a brand new park. So I said to them, I had never touched a camera, but I said, well, why don't we take pictures of these kids? It is a bilingual preschool in Evanston, and every year they had a festival where they dress up with beautiful costumes, traditional customs from different countries. So I started photographing them, and that camera never left my hands. And then again, doors kept opening towards this space. But again, it was through service that I found what is now my passion and my job. So yes, it's just by chance that I was able to serve in that capacity.
And how did that lead from, having a local business to being in charge of DDM Week?
Well, again, I actually started this project through the Highland Park Business Alliance, because as a downtown Highland Park, we have these funds available, and any three businesses can take part of. And I decided, well, why don't we make Highland Park the North Shore destination to come in and celebrate Dia de los Muertos? Because there isn't anything around, and you can go to the city, you can go to the south side and different places. So that's how it came about. Because again, as a business owner, I was able to access to some of the funds that are provided to local businesses to start projects.
And did you get a lot of support from other businesses who were excited about this idea right away? And
Yes.
how many years have you been doing this
This
again?
is only our second year. This is
Okay,
only
so it's
second
new.
year. So it's new and it's growing, and we continue to add layers to it. And again, I think this is something special, and businesses are really we just had our opening ceremony on Saturday, and we had 7 people coming to the park and participating. And then again, what's beautiful about this holiday or this tradition is that it's cross generational. We have little kids painting their Katrina faces to parents and grandparents, and everybody celebrating together. So you don't see as many festivals like that, where anyone can just come in and be part of the celebration. So I think the story behind the tradition, again, is a uniting story and in our town. And then again, the healing aspect of it as well is very powerful in our town.
Yeah, right now it is it is a challenging time, to say the least, with what's going on with immigration raids and whatnot. Um, how did that affect your thoughts on planning this with what's reflecting in the rest of the area?
It has been devastating, and for a minute, I thought about not doing it this year. But at the same time, I was encouraged by the community to keep our light shining because in a time where we want to be diminished, it is very important to keep shining. And this tradition elevates our roots, elevates our culture. And I am here and creating this for them. This is a tribute to my parents that are no longer here. This is a tribute for generations to come. And I'm just, we're just doing it with heart and passion. And if you're able to come and support, please do, because this is not going to last forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's powerful. It's powerful to be able to celebrate the culture and to push back on some of the hate mongering that's been going on. And I think that there is I mean, I have such a deep appreciation for the Mexican community within Chicago, and it is so integral. So I think it's powerful to be able to celebrate and to stand up and to be able to push back on some of those things that are happening right now.
Well, if you recognize, do you know what a Katrina is?
No.
The Katrina is a beautiful skeleton that has become the symbol of Day of the Dead.
Oh,
So
sure.
that was back in the day a political statement because, it was this beautiful figure dressed in the most expensive clothes. But at the end of the day, it's all bones, which is a reminder of equality. At the end of the day, we are all equal. So again, it's more important than ever to bring that symbol back because, um, we're all gonna, we are all the same underneath, and we want to make sure that we continue with the traditions that honor that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you have a lot of bravery to be doing what you're doing, and also for a second year, and you've gone from all these different types of things. I mean, do you ever? Some people, when they're trying to start doing something new, they always are trying to perfect it and figure it out before they start, and they're worried about missing something or things not working perfectly, and then they never actually do it. Um, what gets you to just be able to say, you know what, I'm going to 18 years old, I'm going to come to America. I'm going to become an accountant. You know what? I'm going to become a photographer. I'm going to put together DDM week, all these different types of things, being a community leader. How do you get that inspiration to do that?
Well, I think again, in my heart, I am a visionary. I am a creature of service. I really have a strong sense of social justice. Again, I'm part of my full time job is to be an advocate for bilingual education. But really, what keeps me going is to find people with the same missions. This I could never do anything without my partners. That the designer of the ofrenda, Jessica Rivero, the landscaper that is helping us with all the beautiful marigolds that she's able to bring in. Again, just finding the right people, the right leaders to connect and continue to grow. Because yes, believe me, as a perfectionist, I could never, if I listened to myself, I would never done anything. But my partner says, you know what, done is better than the perfect, and we can keep moving on and producing. And then again, the problem with creatives like me, like once you accept that you're a creative, is again, you always keep adding and adding and adding and never finishing. But if you get surrounded by people that again have the same creativity, but also really is again, just form a team. And that's really what keeps me going, to find people that align in values and again, ideas. And we are trying to really create a legacy for our kids. Um, and then again, for the community to enjoy, because this tradition is uniting, this tradition is healing, and that's really the underlying, for this specific tradition, for this specific project, that's really the underlying message that we're trying to get across.
Yeah, absolutely. And since it is only your second year, I'm sure you have ideas and thoughts and plans for the future. What are some of the things that you're thinking of?
Involving the community a little more. Actually, today I just thought about how we want the entire park to look next year, how we want to expand from maybe downtown to the Ravinia district because we are tapping into some of the businesses down there. So again, my idea is to really have everyone for a week to not just be Mexican, but really to embrace this Mexican tradition. And the way that we do it is by increasing our business participation, strengthening our community partners, because we're also working in this project. The beauty of this project is that I said is brings in different people, not only community members and businesses, but also the Highwood Library, the Highland Park Library, the Art Center, all these, the Park District, all these different community partners are also very involved. We had SALT, which is a local youth organization that are doing wonderful missions, wonderful things, especially with our immigrant community. They are right now filling the gap between, they're fighting food scarcity right now. Many of our families are afraid to go to the store. Many of them are losing their benefits. And these kids are pulling their resources and their magic to get together and create food for gather food for these families and deliver it to them because they know they cannot leave their homes. So again, the more that we're involving the community, that's how we want to grow this. And the possibilities are endless.
They are. And I know, Ravinia has different types of festivals throughout the year too, during I went at the end of the season. But I think that the idea of growing it and connecting and maybe doing more weekends could definitely elevate the community as well.
Right.
Yeah. And when you're there though, so it's at night, it started on Friday, correct?
Friday.
So
Yes, Saturday through Sunday. But let me just tell you, there's
sure.
several things going on. So in addition to the past that I said before, it's almost like a scavenger hunt. It has a full calendar of events. Yesterday on Sunday, we play a kids movie at the movie theater related to Day of the Dead. In the afternoon, one of our local businesses hosted a sugar skull workshop at her shop. But also several other businesses, even though if you're not on that path, they are jumping into the DDM week wagon by offering a special soul week. You can go to Bright Bowls and get a beautiful Day of the Dead bowl. You can go to Yoga Six where they are going to have DDM classes. So basically everyone is really turning for a week, adding items in their menu, adding special classes in their programming to be able to join the celebration in some way or another. So I think it's beautiful that, the community is interested, the businesses are interested, so that you can really experience the tradition through food, through movement, through flavors. And it doesn't matter if you're a service business like mine, or if you're a restaurant, or if you're a store, we're all finding ways to really participate in this movement.
And I need to go to the event and see it. So I think I will be coming this week. But is everything set up in the park, or is everything like you go to the businesses and then you get checked in and from there?
Yeah, so there's two community events. One that kicked off on Saturday, that was at the park. We actually had, again, community organizations leading crafts for kids. We had the ofrenda, and we actually had a performance from a pre-Hispanic Aztec group that came in and gave us a demonstration of, the music and dances that are way from, pre-Hispanic times. So that was a beautiful celebration. I'll start posting things on Instagram about it. So it starts with that community event, but throughout the week, it's in the local businesses. You go to their store, for example, on Thursday, Pisca, one of our local restaurants, will be having a mezcal tasting with Mexican bites, food and bites. So again, if you're a pass holder, you're welcome to join in. But throughout the week, they created this authentic Oaxacan mole that, I don't know if you ever had mole, but it is a very labor intensive and incredible dish from Mexico. So throughout the whole week, even if you cannot make the past experience, you can go ahead and enjoy this amazing dinner that the restaurant is setting up for guests. And then we're going to be closing this week with a Tarde of Katrina's runaway show, which means we're inviting the community to dress up as a Katrina, because as I mentioned before, when you dress up as a Katrina, you are sharing a statement. My 8-year-old daughter, decided that she's going to participate in this fashion show. She's going to be representing the Katrina of love, because in her 8-year-old eyes, she believes that our community and our world needs more love. So she will be walking the runaway with that Katrina, and then we will have judges. So again, it's another community event, and this will be at Ellie Style, downtown Highland Park, who opened her doors to welcome the community during this event. So again, there's multiple ways to enjoy this holiday, this tradition in Highland Park, whether you come to the community events, whether you go to the specific activations that we set up in that past, or just really have, taste the flavors or the activities or participate on the classes that our community members or community businesses are offering. There's multiple ways. So I just wanted to mention that there's not one way to enjoy this celebration.
Right. There's so many ways to experience it. If you're like completely clueless on the tradition, where's the best places to learn about it besides going to the event? So you come here and you fully appreciate what you're walking into.
I think the absolutely step number one, as I said, is going to visit the ofrenda, especially at night if you can, because the lights are on. You're able to see. It's kind of like when you're walking through a museum. It's self-explanatory. We really try to write up the elements, the meaning of this year's ofrenda, because we're dedicating this to every ofrenda. Usually at home, it is, you put pictures of your loved ones that have passed. But in this year, we wanted to dedicate the ofrenda to one specific element. And this year's element, if I may share with you, I'm not going to spoil the full description because I really want people to come in and read what it's all about. But really, our inspiration was corn. The seed of life is a symbol of origin and nourishment and unity. This Dia de los Muertos, we honor our roots and celebrate life that continues through remembrance. So again, you will see a lot of corn elements in the ofrenda to really symbolize that unity. And at the end, we start on the earth and we all go back to earth. So if you're not familiar with the tradition, you will see all the elements explained. You will get to see, again, the activations from the ofrenda tie back to the businesses. So I think that's the number one place to start. And if you don't get to go to the ofrenda, please do watch Coco, because that's where you're going to learn everything about it.
I sure did. I felt so silly. I mean, I have to say, but
you know what? As I said, I grew up with this tradition, but it wasn't until I came here that I really embraced it. So do not feel bad. Even me as a Mexican myself, it was up here, but it wasn't in my heart until I came here, and I actually lost my parents. So it really is very meaningful. So.
Yeah, no, and I think some people look at death or something like this where it could be sad, but really it's not, because you do get to reconnect and you do become, it's almost like stoic. The stoic vision of things is to like recognize that death could be around the corner. Everything is paper thin, like you mentioned before. Yes. And then you get to appreciate the moment that you're in every minute, everybody who your relationships with, because you don't know how long that will last. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to celebrate with your community, celebrate maybe a culture that you weren't really knowledgeable of beforehand, but now you can appreciate, and it just enriches your life.
Right.
Yeah. So if people want to learn more, where should they go online to be able to find out about this? Where's your Instagram, and then also about your studio?
Okay, well, the Instagram for the project is DDM Week HP. It's beautiful. That's where we put all the beautiful photos. But also our website is hpculturalarts.org. We have all the information there. All the events are listed. You can buy passes. But again, coming to the City of Ofrenda, it's free. The community events are free. And really, if you want to have that deeper exploration, that's when you support the project by buying a ticket and going to see the activations that are placed at the local businesses. So those are the main two spaces to find DDM Week. For myself, my studio is located downtown Highland Park. My website is dianagranportraits.com. And I'll be more than happy to welcome anyone with a pass on Friday, that I will be opening my doors right before Halloween. So please stop by.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to help you capture an authentic portrait that is included with your pass.
That's awesome. I mean, that's perfect timing to blend everything together like that. Awesome. Well, that sounds awesome. I am going to be there. I'm going to be coming up to Highland Park to check out DDM week. And Diana, I really appreciate you sharing with us everything that's going on for what you're doing. I think it's so important. And I look forward to meeting you in person.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for sharing with the community this beautiful tradition. We are very excited for the welcoming and the way that our businesses, visitors, and community members are embracing this tradition. So we know the future is bright. Again, it is a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, but we do it with a lot of heart and a lot of love. And again, really support it with everyone that wants to see this shining.
We love it. Thanks so much again.
Thank you. Bye.